Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do Purgatory Empire. This is issue number 2 from Chaos Comics. Dorian Clevenger, I believe that's how you say it, is the cover artist. Cover looks great. And we're going to dive right in because we see Rath here, who created Purgatory, but he hates her for whatever reason. Sorry, I'm a little bit sick here. Found in the desert and some kind of an ultimate weapon to destroy her, but instead found, well, a weapon, but the weapon is not really something that he could use or handle because it's a living being called Ahriman. He's a conqueror, but Rath and his, vampire clan says, hey, we have enough of conquerors and empires. We stand against you. Okay, so that is interesting. It's not that he can do something about it. I mean, this guy's pretty powerful. He looks like a pretty boy that is high and mighty and drunk with power. And exactly, that's what he is, because he says, how can it be that the people have forgotten me? I am Ahriman of the Elder Gods, and to me you are less than insects. So he's using his power, and they scatter like dust in the winds, these creatures, these vampires. Now, Rath here is supposedly some kind of a big bad guy. He is older than Purgatory, so he should be on par, if not stronger, than Purgatory, but he is always scheming in the shadows and plotting her demise. But somehow, every time when he is in these books, he never accomplished anything, comes even close to killing her or destroying her or, thwarting her plans of how, he's just being boasting all the time. And now he's, being overwhelmed by this guy that is somehow can now control them all. He reads their minds and he's saying that, I don't know, he harbors eldritch secrets, which never comes to fruition. We never will know what happened because Chaos Comics doesn't exist anymore, and that storyline is being gone. But he throws it out there, and also he finds out about Purgatory and a Scarlet Imperium, where a realm populated almost entirely of vampires that intrigues him. So he wants to go there and do something about it. Uses his power to transform vampires into zombies because he's draining their blood, because vampires, drink blood. So if there is no blood in their bodies, they cannot do anything about it. I said, okay, that's interesting. I like that, right? But he needs also weapons to slay the goddess, right? Purgatory. So Rath gathered some artifacts across the world, but Ahriman says, well, you don't have the knowledge to do it. So, but he does. So he gives these monsters all different artifacts, like a talisman of a supreme being, a silver blade with clear light, a shield that slays Gorgon Medusa, and the fire of Prometheus, who stole the fire of the gods, right? Of an ember. I think so. Basically, they are super powered being. Well, not really, but it looks like it, right? It looks cool. All these undead creatures as deadly weapons. And he says, go forth, my warriors, and slaughter the queen of the Scarlet Imperium in her own bedchambers as a harbinger of my arrival. So he says, hey, Rath, you and the rest, go away. I don't need you anymore. And he's blasting them away. Meanwhile, we have, I forgot her name, but she is an Asgardian warrior that fell in love with Purgatory. But Purgatory, like a big slut she is sleeping around, and she didn't like that. She tried to kill the slave that Purgatory chose in the first issue, which is the last issue of this one, and she's now being banned because she wanted to kill her. It's all crazy, right? So they're all basically all lesbians, which I'm okay with. This is a very sexual. Well, there's no nudity in here, but there's a lot of fornicating, I believe, but we don't see really that kind of stuff. It's just a lot of suggestions, if you will, in half naked women. Anyway, so Purgatori is very pleased with her new pet, and she says, "You can have any boon you want. Tell me what you want." And she says, "I want to have your name," her slave name, because once upon a time, Sakara was an Egyptian slave, and called Sakara. So she says, "I want to be called Sakara." All right. They're having sex. We don't see this. We see it in the last issue. If you want to know what's happening there, so check it out. Subscribe. You know, comment, like, subscribe. I noticed that a lot of people watch my videos but are not subscribed. So, I mean, you would help me a lot if you subscribe to my channel. I mean, you know, it would help me a lot. I will be grateful. Anyway, we have another vampire, which I think, okay, this looks cool. So we have this dark wolf-like creature, and I like there's this face here, you know, in the throat of or in the mouth of this. I mean, it's the same person. Yeah. So he's a pervert, right? So then he hears something, and better make with the disguise to find a nice safe alcove. So these creatures are just crashing into the bed chambers of Purgatori. She immediately attacks, but she is being overwhelmed by the power of the talisman. And she also knows that this creature has no blood, so she cannot control them. And she says, "The hateful sight of the talisman, worse than 1,000 crucifixes. My mind recalls from the memory of its image." So she knows this talisman. Meanwhile, Ahriman arrives at the city of the vampires, but using the power of hypnosis to tell them not to look his way, because according to the vampires, because of the power of hypnosis, he's just an ordinary guy, a common traveler. And he uses the power of hypnosis to turn the minds of these vampire people here against their queen, right? Because, you know, this guy is a merchant. He said he says, "I heard the tariffs of the Scarlet Imperium imposes on mortar traders are exorbitant. Yeah, the bitch goddess Purgatori bleeds us dry in one way, then another." So, okay, he's doing something about it. Meanwhile, we have a battle, right? And also this mirror, they weaken me. You know, the mirror, I believe, this shield that defeated the Gorgon Medusa. And she's getting slashed by this weapon, you know, this silver-fanged sword, and also burned by Prometheus fire. I said, okay, this is cool. I like that. But then the slave Sakara, the new Sakara, is helping her. She's been knocked out. But then Purgatori is now in possession of the blood magic that she is wielding, the blood alchemy. Basically, she can turn blood into physical objects like, you know, Green Lantern, and dealing with this shield or something like that. Not sure what's happening here. Maybe the shield is being blocked. The power of the shield is being blocked by the blood, I guess. And then she is calling upon Nightmare. Now, Nightmare is a sword that is once wielded by Lady Death. Now she is in the possession of it. This is some kind of an alternate reality, by the way. And she's attacking all these creatures and using the blood magic to throw this guy out of the building. So it's dead, I presume. Her legs are way too long, by the way. But it looks cool. And that's what this book is all about. Anyway, so this sword is also a mind of his own. It screams like, the light, it cuts. The mistress, the silver enemy hurts us. So Purgatori says, shut up and do it. Your whining disgusts me. I like her vile commentary. It really reminds me of Dracula from the Tomb of Dracula. Dracula has also the habit of insulting his enemies all the time, which I really like. And he does it in very, condescending way. I like that. I miss that in comics. These insults, really cool insults. But okay, moving on. So she says, tell me who sent you, assassin. But she's moving away, and then now the sword is, hitting the talisman, and this creature is exploding. All right. Well, Ahriman is just floating and basically hypnotizing the whole, city, I guess, to turn against their master or, queen. I like the clothing of these vampires here. Very, I believe a mix of Egyptian clothing with some, modern era, I guess. It looks cool, I think. Meanwhile, she is still having trouble dealing with this guy who has the silver sword. And she realizes this is going to be a stalemate because, well, they have similar powers, or, you know, they're negating each other. Yeah. And then she's using the blood magic to grab the arm, cuts off the arm, and then, therefore, the threat is over and, you know, decapitates them, this creature. Also, the other one comes in, and she has no problem dealing with that too, because, well, all of the artifacts are now useless because nobody wields it, which is cool. Meanwhile, like I said, look at these garments here with the helmet and, you know, scarab-like images. Yeah, I like that. So basically, Ahriman is using the power of suggestion to, like I said, turning against Purgatori. So to bring in their pitchforks and their fire to the you know, to the queen's bedchambers, and they are said, "Death to Purgatory," and she says, "You will die for this treasonous vermin. I would see that you die in agonies last millennia had I enough dungeons for all of you." I said, okay, that made me chuckle. Anyway, so, and she's wondering who is now behind all this, right? She says, "It couldn't be that pale bitch Lady Death," right? And then the real, you know, threat is revealing himself. "It is I, Ahriman." Well, that's not how he says, but "Death to Purgatory, long live Ahriman." And then, you know, this battle between these two powerhouses is going to be concluded in the last issue of this book, which is pretty cool. This is the cover by, is this the cover? Yeah, this is the cover without the letters then. I have it. So we're going to do that next time. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked the video, and see you next time, as always. Bye-bye.